like COA level to that OS level. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the questions were based on architecture only. Like what is
Mm-hmm.
I most probably suppose like about system calls, how these are working, and stuff like that. I was not prepared for this.
Hello everyone. Today we have with us Suro. He was my junior in college and a very close friend. And today he is here with us to share his interview experience with Amagi. Hi Suro.
Yeah. Hi Shashank. So yeah, I'm working as a software development engineer at Amagi. So I'm going to tell about my interview experience at Amagi, how it went. So Amagi interview experience happened through college placements in around late September. We got contacted by HirePro. They sent us a link about our interview.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a online test link. So in the online test, it was scheduled around I think 5 to 7, some sort of time like that. And the test consisted of first of all aptitude. So there were different types of this aptitude, logical reasoning stuffs over there. I was pretty weak at aptitude. I'll say I just solved it, and whatever appeared logically, I put a right to it. I didn't care about the accuracy or anything. I just did it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, there was some verbal English questions, like some comprehension and stuff. Also, I'm also weak at English. I did whatever came to my mind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, the third thing was coding. So I was pretty confident at it. There were two coding questions, but a thing was the coding section has a pretty tight time limit. Like there were I think 30 minutes around that for coding.
Mm-hmm.
So the first question was I did it was both the questions were doable easy, but actually the second question was very implementation heavy, right? So implementation, so there are those implementation heavy based question on strings, right, where you need to do a lot. So the first question I did by C++, I think it was some basic taking pairs and doing some sorting and stuff, basic logical question. And the second question was on strings. I think C++ doesn't have that extensive library on strings, or I guess I knew more with Python that string manipulation would be easy because you can do those slicing and stuff. So I just
Mm-hmm.
went with Python, and it took a bit time, but yeah, both the questions were submitted correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the online about the online round. uh,
Mm-hmm.
in most of the online rounds, what I faced was like if you submit the coding questions correctly, then you mostly get accepted. So that was the reason I didn't prepared very much for aptitude and
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So after that, a few days later, a week later, our results came. So about 7 to 8 people were shortlisted for the next rounds. Okay, so the next round was scheduled like 2 to 3 days, 3 working days after the results were announced. So they had told us like all the rounds would be done in a single day. So uh, so in the first round, there was this thing, the DSC round. It was a face-to-face DSC round, and in the face-to-face DSA round, he first so that guy was a lead software engineer, right? And he first asked me to introduce myself, and he asked me about my projects, my achievements, and stuffs like that. After that, he started with the coding question. So the first question was or actually all the questions were damn easy. So not gonna lie. So the first question was basically given three 2D points, determine whether they can form a line segment or not. It was simple. Find the slope with uh, you will find two slopes, like one with first and second, second one with second and third, and check if both the slopes are same, right?
Yeah, and we should take care of some corner cases, right? Like slope is infinity in that case. We have to
Yeah,
handle
yeah.
this.
Those cases we need to take. Yeah.
Right.
So this was the main logic. We did it in 5 minutes. It was done. And the coding part was there was a live workspace. Like we both can see each other's code, and he. So the first thing, I didn't need any test case or something like that. It was a straightforward question, so I didn't need to ask anything. So I just coded over there. Then we did a dry run, and after that, he compiled using his own test cases, and it ran. Right. The second question was based on trees. Okay, so it was a simple tree traversal, something like you need to go to the leaves and do something. Right. It was a simple, just uh, just a tweak in simple tree traversal, nothing other than that. So it was also pretty easy. And in the tree traversal, you after you construct to test your own code, you actually need to build a tree yourself, like build a root, and roots left would be this, roots right would be this. So you basically write the whole code and compile and run, right? uh, I did that. After that, he dry ran it, and after that he uh, compiled it using his own test cases, and it ran correctly. So both the questions I did it in C++. And so he thought he would continue with these two questions for 40 minutes, but it was over in 15 minutes. So after
Okay.
that, I did a 3 month JavaScript internship in Phoebe, a company named Phoebe. He started asking me about what I did in the internship and stuff. And then he knew I did things in JavaScript. Then he started asking in JavaScript. I didn't know anything about JavaScript. I just knew where to copy the code from, where to paste the code, and
Uh,
some basic knowledge about how async await works and stuffs like that. Now he started giving codes in JavaScript and told, okay, tell me whether which thing would be printed, some basic, some promises and stuff, right? I had very vague idea about them, right? So I told him I actually don't know this much. It was just I copy pasted code and did things logically, nothing other than that. And so yeah, so he told, yeah, it's quite understandable, no problem. And after that, there were still time left, so he gave a question on binary search. He told, like, given a number, find its square root without using any math function. So it was also a pretty easy question. We did it through binary search to find the integral parts, and we needed to have up till 3 decimal places, right? So for every decimal place, I started which was from 0 to 9, which was the perfect number that would fit. So did that, and for the next decimal place I did the same, so something like that I did, and I coded. And after that, finally 40 minutes were over. So I was pretty confident. I did well in this round and was waiting for the next round. So there were about 7 to 8 people. Every person had different interviewer for the first round, right? And after that, four students got filtered out of those round. Next, there was the second round. So in this second round, he was a senior software engineer, I guess. So he started asking questions about OS, that were not about like straightforward or simple question. He started asking about concepts, and he kept digging those concepts until we are at the RAM level or something like the POCD level. Okay, he kept on digging it. Okay, and I only knew, like, okay, OS, this thing works. These are the scheduling algorithm. These are those. I didn't know what internally what's going on, like in the that like COA level to that OS level. So most of the questions were based on architecture only. Like, what is I most probably suppose, like, about system calls, how these are working, and stuff like that. I was not prepared for this at all. So this type of question. I most probably he was working in C. He was basically working with C, and that in the system level. So he had his. So he also started asking about those questions only. So there were many questions that I couldn't answer. There were many questions which I needed to answer logically, and there were very few questions which I already knew the answer. I was aware of the concepts, right? So I thought after this round, I became very sad. Okay, if this is the interviewer for me, and he is asking about this only to me, then I'm gone, because he will give a pretty bad review. Okay, and also the accent of the interviewer was a pretty uh, not used to. I was not used to that accent, so the question understanding took a lot of time, right? So I thought this interview is gone. Then I came to know. So there are four people, right? So first two set of people had their interview with one, suppose interviewer A, and interviewer B was interviewing. So first 40 minutes with the first candidate by interviewer A, second 40 minutes for the second candidate by interviewer A, and then
Mm.
first 40 minutes for me, candidate 3 by interviewer B, and second 40 minutes for candidate 4 by interviewer B, right? And
Mm.
then it exchange. B was
Mm.
taking both first and second candidates, and A was taking third and fourth candidate. So when
Mm.
I came to know about that, I was sure, okay, everyone is
Mm.
gonna do shit in this one. So yeah, but then I,
Mm.
okay, okay, let's hope. I still have hope, right?
Mm.
And then I asked, so my another candidate who had the same, he was one of my friend. So I asked him, how was your round? He also told he totally threw the interview out of the window. So it was totally like bad interview.
Mhm.
Okay. So then I texted some another girl. So she also told that it was a bad interview. So I was, yeah, okay, it is shit for everyone. And
Mhm.
then after that, yeah, so they announced that, okay, we'll go for the third round. Okay.
Mhm.
So the third round, it was one of the best rounds I ever had. So he asked, so he started asking about, he told that this round would be about computer networking and stuff. And
Mhm.
I, in computer networking, I didn't prepare deeply. I just needed know, I just knew 7 OSI layers. What happens when you
Mhm.
do google.com, when you enter google.com in this thing, this whole process, and some basic questions. I didn't prepare much. So I told him I don't have too much in-depth knowledge. I just have an overview about computer networking. So he
Mhm.
told no issues. And he started, so computer network is like how a computer connects with the internet and talks to other, what are the rules needed. So it's basically about that, right? And it
Mhm.
totally fits the society, how a man would, or how a person would talk to each other and stuffs
Mhm.
like that, when he should broadcast his message, when,
Mhm.
so it totally fitted this logic stuffs. So whatever he asked, I started logically fitting this algorithm in society itself, like real life.
Mhm.
Okay, what would a person do if something was like that? Okay, and
Mhm.
he was very satisfied about that, the approach I was taking, because I didn't know. So he asked about how can you store a password and stuff. He started with this, and
Mhm.
then I came to know, okay, so there is some concept called salt, where so that common decrypting algorithms don't decrypt the password from the
Yeah.
hashes. So you
Mhm.
add salt and stuff. So yeah, the total interview was like a logical discussion, like this.
Mhm.
So after
Mhm.
that round was done, after 2 hours, so it was declared that 3 people were selected, and I was one of them, right? So so yeah, I think that was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can move on to like what suggestions you have for candidates who are awaiting their interviews in 1 or 2 days.
Right. So if you have your interviews, you can just revise on your simple DSA, nothing complex, no graphs, nothing like that. Just simple DSA, how the binary searches and all those stuffs work, how the trees work, and how the linked list work. And so if you, once you have this core concept clear, you just based on the question, you just logically tweak your solution. That's it. No need of very deep data structures over there. And other than that, be prepared with your core concepts, OS, DBMS, networking. For me, there was no DBMS, but for my senior batches, I've heard there were DBMS. So it depends on the interviewer. And have your logical concepts cleared, have a basic understanding about computer science, whatever he asks, so that you can at least logically map your answer to something. Okay, you don't have to go blank. Okay, what do I do over here? Just keep talking, keep answering something, and the interviewer will help you, right?
Right.
So that's a so it's that this level, with this level of preparedness, I think it would be easy to crack a Amagi.
Okay. So, can you give us a glimpse of how is your day-to-day life and work experience with Amagi?
Yeah, so I'm currently working in the platform team. So in Amagi, the first thing is, in whatever role you come, in tech based role, you will learn a lot about AWS in the first 3 to 4 months. You will learn a lot. So while joining, the first 1 to 2 months are all about training and stuff. So they assume you don't know anything, and they uh, train you. They provide some Udemy courses. Provide some hands-on learning things and stuff like that. After that, they assign. Suppose you want to work on Ruby on Rails. Your stack is on Ruby on Rails, so they will first assign you to complete a sample project on Ruby on Rails. I made a chat application, so something like that. After that, once they are reviewed, you are thorough with your concepts. They will put you to live project. So I'm currently working on. So for me, I'm working on an independent project, uh, which is based on Python, AWS, and different plugins. Like you don't need to know, just search them. Whatever the plugins come, you just insert. Like main is Python and AWS. So that is the part. Whatever role you come in, you learn about AWS a lot, right? And you also take part in like after a few months you also take part in about the system design, about how this is going to be built, all those knowledges, right? So you know about all limits, threshold, which is most cost efficient, everything. So those parts are there. You'll also have in every week there's some new technology by AWS that might be launching, or some new cloud thing, or some new innovation. They're always in a meet like that per week, where you get to learn something new, right? And yeah, it's quite fun over here, and there are not too much work pressure. You work according to your pace. Just uh, just you always need to maintain a quality of your code, right? You cannot just write anything and stuff. So yeah, I'm also like learning. Like there are very. So when I was like in college, I was confused, like why does clean code and stuff matter? You code just needs to work. Any variable name, anything, sure, like give anything, A, B, C, D, anything might work. But uh, when I came here, when there was my first deployment over here, I was the previous night I totally, like I needed to refactor my code and stuff. So totally I was working, okay, what variable I half an hour I'm sitting, okay, what variable name should I put over here? I'm just searching Stack Overflow and watching blogs. How can I name my variables carefully, something like that. Then I came to know how these are important. Why do they struggle on this? Like why do they like focus on this thing, right? So yeah, there are many changes that you need to adopt once you come to full-time software development. So yeah, I think that's that. And also you learn about coordinating with your team, where you should, how much you should post about your updates, whom should you inform, the hierarchy you understand a lot, right?
Yeah,
And yeah, that's it,
right.
I guess.
So, like, there is a exciting life ahead. Like, they have to just focus now on preparation, DSA, and keep trying till they reach.
Hmm. Right, right. So DSA is the main part, and apart from that, you also need to know about your core concepts, about some common general questions on computer science. So once you
Yeah,
have this, uh, it would be easy to crack such interviews.
got it.
Right.
Okay, Suro, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing that. It will definitely be very helpful for juniors. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
thank you.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.